Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're all still feeling very, very good indeed, because coming up today, we are going to be talking transfer news with Erling Haaland, Andreas Christensen and Kessie, all discussed in today's video after all three of these players have been heavily linked with a summer move to Barça. Exactly how close are these deals to happening? What exactly could they bring? And of course, we're also going to be going through some very important opinions. And I'm going to be asking you guys a crucial question. Once again, when it comes to Erling Haaland, it is all coming up today. So let's get to it. But if we do start, first of all, with the 25-year-old centre-back, Andreas Christensen, who of course right now is playing his football at Chelsea, and he is set to be available on a free transfer this summer, given that his current contract expires in July. And of course there is plenty of interest here in the Danish international, not least from Chelsea, who do still really want to keep him at the club, given that he has become a very important player in their defence. But it is actually Barça that appear to be leading the race to sign the defender this summer. Because indeed, on Tuesday, there was a big piece of news there coming from Gerard Romero, who even went as far to say that Barça have reached a full agreement to sign Christensen this summer. And of course, the question is being asked now if that is indeed true, if we're closing in on this signing. What we've got to look at is what he can bring. Is he going to be a good addition? That's, of course, an area, the centre of our defence, that needs attention. Is Christensen the man we need? Because he is a defender there who has really flourished, I feel, under the guidance and the leadership of Thomas Tuchel, often appearing there in a back three at Chelsea and thriving in that role, but he can also play as part of a two centre-back setup as well. And I think he's also, got to say, impressed on the international stage, not just there at Chelsea, but with Denmark as well. He was one of the outstanding defenders at the Euros last summer, and I do think there he is a very solid defender. I think he's been improving year upon year. He does appear to be getting better. I think he's at a good age now, he's got good experience, but there's also plenty more, I feel, to come from him. One thing certainly that is definitely going to fit in with Xavi's style of play, which is why maybe Xavi is looking to him and is happy to bring him in, is because he is very, very good on the ball. He's very composed, he's calm, he's good at playing at the back, finding good passing lanes. And I'm just interested to see here what sort of role, at least initially, Christensen would have in the squad. Because especially this summer, you look at other defenders in that area at Barça, we don't know what's going to happen with Samuel Umtiti. Could he finally leave the club? You also look at Oscar Mingueza, who's been linked away from the club too, and maybe even Clement Longley if the right offer arrives. So there is going to be plenty of defenders, especially centre-backs, leaving the club potentially this summer, and I do feel here like picking Christensen up on that free transfer, possibly as well, of course, bringing him in alongside a teammate of his right now, Cesar Azpilicueta. Those could be two healthy additions, very good additions to our back line, and again, for no transfer fee. Which, of course, brings us on to Kessie, because this right here is another player who, come the summer transfer window, he is going to be available for absolutely nothing, given the fact that he's set to leave AC Milan at the end of his contract. Although, again, they really do want to keep him, but that is looking unlikely right now. Of course, this is a player here in Kessie, who we have discussed on the channel before. Barça have been in talks with Kessie for quite a few months now. We have been working to agree those personal terms. And even just yesterday, AC Milan director Paolo Maldini even confirmed Barca's interest in their midfielder. So that right there is solid proof that we are going after Kessie. And the latest reports right now, again, just like with Christensen, where it does appear to be ramping up, Barca are said to be very, very close indeed to getting this deal done. There is a reported contract offer on the table of 6.5 million euros net in salary there for Kessie if he wants to sign for Barca, and apparently he would be very, very excited by that prospect. But again, if Kessie was indeed to come in, as is being reported, the question would be, given Barca's strength in midfield, the fact that we do have really good strength and depth in that area, where would he play? What sort of role would he have? How many minutes would he get in Xavi's midfield? And I would look at it right now and I would say, okay, he's not a natural Busquets replacement. I don't think in terms of a like-for-like player, it's the same sort of thing. Certainly there, Kessie is a completely different kind of midfield player. I think he can play in that deeper role, but when he has played there in that kind of position, it has been as a two. He's often played there in a double pivot, as opposed again to that single, much in the same way as Frenkie de Jong and his time time at Ajax. So the question would be, are Barca going to change shape in midfield? Are we going to see a different kind of structure there? And I would also say that basically here, what Kessie would bring is that something different. He is a player that even despite all of the quality we do have in midfield, all the different attributes that we possess, he does still bring something different to the table in the fact that he's dynamic, he's box to box, he can be physical, he can chip in with goals as well, he can be progressive. And I think certainly there when you're Xavi as coach of Barcelona, this is what you want. You look at our January transfer window, the kind of different players that we brought in and how they've added a different dynamic to this team. And I think Kessie here, Barca are looking at this deal, he is a fantastic player. He's been brilliant recently for AC Milan. And I think Barca are looking at it thinking, okay, this guy, he's got a market value of 50 million euros. If he was under contract here and you wanted to buy him, that's basically how much it would cost you. So I think here, to be getting a player of that quality for free, I think it's a case here of bringing him in, giving him decent wages, but it's again a very, very low-risk deal when it comes to Barca, and even again, when you're looking at the summer with potential players departing the club, you've got Sergio Roberto, who of course has played in midfield, he's looking very, very likely to leave the club, and even Ricky Puig. There have been plenty of rumours recently that say that Ricky has made the decision that this summer he will make that move away, and again, that will open up a few opportunities perhaps in that midfield position, as Kessie looks likely to come in. Which once again leaves us in the situation here where we're talking about potential arrivals on free transfers of Christensen, of Franck Kessie. We also heard links there to Azpilicueta, Mazraoui. All of these players potentially arriving for no transfer fee, which again begs the question, are we saving up for something big? Which of course brings us on to the subject of Erling Haaland, because it did emerge over the last few days that once again Laporta and Raiola have been meeting. It emerged there that a secret meeting took place in Monaco. On the 16th of February, Jordi Cruyff was also apparently in attendance at that meeting, where again the possibility of Erling Haaland to Barca this summer was discussed in what would be a truly huge deal on every single scale, because of course we know how much it would cost to sign Erling Haaland. We know that it would be a 75 million euro transfer fee. We know that is his release clause. We know there would be a significant portion going the way of Mino Raiola in that agent's fee. And we also know that Erling Haaland would demand between 25 to 30 million euros per year in wages. So we are talking about a massive deal. This is huge, huge money right here. But of course, we are well aware of what Erling Haaland can do to justify those kind of figures. We are talking here about a player who, alongside Mbappe, is the biggest talent in the football world right now. He's still only 21 years old. And when you look at the goal record, when you look at the kind of numbers, the stats that this man is producing week upon week upon week, it's unbelievable. This is simply something that you don't normally see in football. He's scoring every game. He is involved in all the big moments time and time again. And I think he would be a quality addition to any team. But despite all of that, despite all of the quality, all of the brilliance, the question is still being asked, should Barca, though, really go all out for Haaland? Should we really be going and spending that kind of money to bring him in? And there are two particular doubts which have crossed my mind recently, and I know that I'm not alone. Because doubt number one would come in the form of injuries, which I think especially for us Barcelona fans, that is not a word that you want to hear connected with anybody. Anybody at this club. Any new signing, we don't want any injury problems given what we've gone through. And this season, Erling Haaland has suffered with several different injuries. He has spent a lot of the season on the sidelines, he has had a lot of physical problems, and that is certainly going to be a concern when you're paying the kind of money that we would have to. Injuries like that and issues like that would be in the back of your mind. It's only natural. You have to take everything, you have to take absolutely everything into account when you're spending this kind of money. But I think the second point is more to do with what we've seen from the team recently. Now, I'm not going to say here that suddenly now, because Barca won a few games, because we're playing very well at the moment, suddenly now we don't need anyone else. We're way better than all these people. I'm not saying that at all. But the one thing that I would say right now, when you watch our team, when you watch us play and the football that we're playing, I do really like the fact that we don't have one star, that we don't have one player on this team who everything is based around, who everything goes through. I do like the fact that we are looking like a really balanced group. We don't have any big egos. We don't have any players who think they're above anyone else. And I don't think that Erling Haaland would come in and he would have a massive ego, that he would look down on people. I don't think that at all. But I just think right now, we don't want to do anything at all that messes with that dynamic. We don't want to do anything at all that takes away from that hard work and that organisation that we seem to be building as a team. But the problem is, when you look at our team right now, yes, we do have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang come in. He's done extraordinarily well. He's scoring goals right now. But obviously he's at an age where it's not going to be really long term. We're not going to have him forever. And then you've got Ansu Fati, who of course many of our hopes have been pinned on in terms of goal scoring. But we don't know how he's going to come back, how he's going to recover from his injury problems, which begs the question, is this an opportunity that probably we won't have again? This is the chance for Erling Haaland. This is a chance for the kind of player that very rarely comes around in world football, and we have an opportunity. Do we seize it? Do we grab it? Do we snatch it? Because if we don't, and this is another part of it, if we don't take this chance, the likelihood is Real Madrid will. And I do think, guys, it is such a complex question right now. I don't think it's honestly as straightforward to say, yes, I want Haaland, or no, I don't, because I think actually there's a lot of arguments on both sides. I can completely understand why some people would have doubts. I can completely understand why people would be saying, what are you doing? Get him in now. Because, of course, there's no denying the quality of the player that he is. But when you're spending this money, especially for us, given our situation financially over the past few years, you have to consider all the different aspects of this deal. Please do let me know, guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you have to say on this. Would you take that opportunity to sign Erling Haaland this summer? Or would you focus those funds elsewhere in the team? Let me know that down below. I will, of course, see you soon, where there's plenty more to come. Thank you for watching and for supporting. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça!